Hey everyone, welcome to a complete mine and slash wiki where I'll explain the entire interface. I'll cover all items, foods, professions, dungeons, how to unlock over 20 different dungeons, how the mod works, and more. Alright, let's start by describing the mod. Basically, when you spawn, that's the point of least difficulty. As you move away from your starting area, the game gets harder with higher level mobs. See how when I approach a mob it shows level 3? To check our area, we press H. See? It shows area level 1 at the bottom, okay? Now if I move away from spawn a bit, alright? I'll switch to survival and press H. We'll see it's now area level 2. Alright, so basically as we move up in the area, enemies will be higher level and harder to kill. For example, these creepers are already level 4 and so on. But mobs aren't the only ones leveling up. We can level up alongside them. Got it? By the way, if anyone's wondering, does this level system only work with Minecraft mobs? Or does it also work with mobs from other mods? Well, here's the crazy part. This mod works with other mods. Okay? It's compatible with other mods, meaning you can use it in mod packs with bosses and mobs from other mods. And they'll follow this system, giving it that classic MMORPG feel, you know? So, we'll start out in survival mode, alright? I know there's a lot going on in the interface right now, okay? I'm creating a new character, assuming I'm level 1, okay? There it is. In the interface, as we see here on the left, I'm level 1. This section showing 2060, that's my stamina. See how my stamina drops when I hit a mob, and when it reaches 0, right? As you can see, I get hunger 3 and slowness 3 to stop attacking. So stamina, health, and all stats can be improved. Finally, we have this blue bar, which is mana. Mana's for casting spells, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. When we start, we'll have this bag in our inventory, okay? It's called the New Buy Gear bag. You can craft it with a seed, charcoal, and a stick, got it? This bag, when you right-click it, gives you these attributes. It'll give you an oakwood staff, alright? Which is mainly for mages. It'll also give you a tyrannical rusted sword, okay? And you'll be getting a tyrannical assassin bow. So what's each item and why do I drop them when I touch them? I know it's stressful. Well, if we hover over it, it'll say we need to be level 1. We already are, okay? It shows here we're level 1, but we also need strength 1, intelligence 1, or dexterity 1. So what we'll do is open the menu with H, okay? To open it, go to options, controls, keybinds, scroll down to key.morpg where H is selected. If H doesn't work for you, try another key. So let's open H and here are the attributes, okay? We'll start with 2 points. Mine's a bit glitchy, okay? No worries. We start with 2 points, so upgrade strength and intelligence. As you can see, force improves health, health regen, and armor. Intelligence boosts mana, mana regen, and mana shield. And dexterity enhances stamina, got it? So health, mana, stamina. Notice the colors red, blue, green match here. Red, blue, green. Once you reach strength level 1, you can grab this sword here. What will you do with this sword? Kill mobs. After killing enough mobs, let's see if we're lucky now. Not sure of his level? Well, I almost leveled up, okay? As you keep killing mobs, you'll eventually level up. Leveling up gives more points to improve here and in other areas I'll explain. Alright, now as you see, when I hover over it, this isn't a normal sword. If I pick up an iron sword right now, okay? See how it lacks the white background this sword has. Okay, this white background indicates the sword is completely normal. It has nothing, no soul as it's called. And basically, if I hover over, let's just focus on the sword, okay? If I hover over this sword, it'll tell me that this sword indeed has a soul. You can actually shift for more details and use Alt, right? For more info, but since it's a lot of text, we won't go into that now. As you can see, the sword soul gives us 9% more crit damage, 4% more crit chance, etc. I want you to understand these stats are completely random each time we get a soul item, okay? These objects are called gear, got it? I'm saying this because you'll see these common words throughout the mod, alright? The words gear and soul. The word gear refers to the basic item without any extra attributes, and soul refers to the item with extra attributes, understand? Just to clarify. So as you can see, if I search for sword now, all these items will appear, which might be a bit overwhelming at first, and might even make us, when we go into creative mode in mine and slash, which is what happened to me, start scrolling down and seeing items thinking, whoa, 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 there's too much stuff here. But that's not really the case, okay? There isn't actually that much content in terms of weapons and such. I'll explain how it works now, it's not that complicated. As you can see, we're in gear, stats, soul, right? And just below the red text it says common item, okay? Now it says uncommon, rare, epic, legendary, mythic, rune, and unique item, alright? So these would be the different rarities. It's like the item's level, got it? How can we get these items? Well, both these items and the swords of this rarity. When I say swords, I mean tools, any kind of tool. Shields, swords, totems, bows, staffs. Look, we have staffs here, iron armor, okay? All these common items can be obtained from level 1 to 20, got it? Uncommon items are similar, rare ones drop from higher level mobs. The higher the mob's level, the more likely it'll drop rarer items, okay? Now, can a level 100 mob drop a common item? Let me show you. Yes, it's possible, alright? When I open this chest, all items are common, but notice the gear level. It's for levels 1, 20, 20, 40, 40, 60, 60, 80, 80, 99, and 100, okay? So the gears are divided into levels and rarities, okay? There's nothing more to it. All these things we see, even food, it's all the same, got it? Even the infusions are exactly the same, alright? So, as I said, we'll start with one of these bags that'll give us these items, okay? Let's explain the interface first, before getting into all the objects, so I don't confuse you, alright? The interface opens with H. On the left, we have the library, which is like Wikipedia, okay? There's some info here, but we won't need it much. I'll explain everything, so don't worry about that part, okay? On the other hand, we have the characters section, alright? Here's how to create multiple characters. For example, I have this level 100 character that I leveled up using commands, okay? From the available options. You can type your name here, haha, hit create, and you've got a new character, alright? Now, let's go to salvaging. This automates the salvage tools, okay? The salvage tool is this table here, got it? This table is crafted with a crafting table and 8 iron. Pretty simple, as you can see. The main use I give this table is to obtain stones, okay? These types of stones, which we'll get to soon, don't worry about it for now, alright? You don't need to touch this yet. You can ignore everything else for now, okay? Except for characters. If you want to create an extra character, that is. Then we have the features section, which gives us some information, okay? In the text chat. So here, by default, we're notified when we fail a spell and when there are aggressive summons. We can also enable all notifications. You might think it'll be overwhelming, but if you're new to the game, it's helpful to be notified of everything since you might miss things. Now I'm notified of damage dealt, drops received. It's quite useful to have active, especially for beginners. Then we have the stats section, which shows our statistics for damage, health, magic shield, mana, energy, and armor. Here we have core stats, regeneration stats for different elements, and resistance stats for various elements like physical, normal, fire, chaos, cold, and lightning. You might ask, why do we need resistance to these elements? Well, as we level up, mobs with these elements will spawn, and having resistance helps us take less damage from them. We have ailment and other stats, basically general stats, which we can check out if we want to. Now let's move to the right side, starting with the class section, which could be the most fun. I'll use this level 100 character with no skills. As you can see, we have different classes: mage, warrior, shaman, support, and archer. Some are repeated. Can we have different spells within the same class? Yes, we can. How does this system work? As you can see, I'm level 100 now, which means I've unlocked all the skills. At first, you can't buy all skills. The numbers on the left, 1, 5, 10, 15, show the minimum level to buy a skill. At level 100, you'll have 100 spell points and 100 passive points in total. Spell points are spent on the left for active skills, passive points on the right for passive abilities. Now, everyone can take a look at what they want, but basically, how can you obtain a skill? Let's get this arrow storm, for example. We'll left click, and as you see, I just spent a spell point, but I've learned the arrow storm skill. How can I equip it? Well, I'll go to H, to the spell hotbar section, which is what I wanted to explain. Here you can see different slots where we can put our new skill. Let's click here and click on arrow storm. What's this here in this interface? It's for gems. I'll show you what gems do later, but basically they give better attributes to our skills, like more damage or less mana cost, etc. How can we unlock them? Well, we go to classes. And we've just improved the skill we acquired a bit. I think it's up to level 5 now. Here, for example, I'd have an unlocked rune so I could add a gem. As you can see, we can have quite a few skills. How do we use these skills? On the left, we have the skill controls, but that might not work well, so let's go to options. We'll go to controls, keybinds, and scroll down. Here it says R, but I don't want R, so I'll set it to button 5, which works better for me. Now when I press button 5, I'll perform this attack. Not sure what I'm hitting, but this attack. So as you can see, when I perform this attack, I'm dealing 59 damage, shown in the chat. Sometimes I deal 119, I'm dealing massive damage, you see? Alright, now we know how classes work. As for passive upgrades, it's just like regular upgrades. The topic of spells down here, we have the Aura Zone. We'll get into the Aura Zone later. Don't worry, but basically the Aura Zone is a type of stones you can find by looting chests. Okay, these are the stones here, okay? and you can find them by looting chests. They basically serve to improve attributes of the character itself, not spells, but the character directly. We have the talent tree, where, well, I have one selected, but I'll choose a level 1 player, and the talent tree, there it is. In the talent tree, you'll start by choosing between Mage Ranger, which is Archer, okay, Warrior, and Guardian. So, Guardian would be the most balanced. Mages would lean more towards spell damage and mana use, and regeneration, mana regeneration, etc. The Archer, obviously for damage from projectiles, bow damage, crossbow damage, and all that. Then there's the Warrior, focusing more on health regen and damage. Okay, let's talk about the translation. Here we have, as you can see, a ton of skills. Alright, as points in total at the end of when we reach level 100, as points in total, I won't exaggerate, we'll have 100 points total, okay? For example, in this character, I chose the Warrior branch. Okay, so if you don't know which branch to choose, don't worry, you're not forced to pick one until you feel ready to make the decision. It's not necessary. Okay, now what I want to show you is the search section. For example, if you search for mana first, you need to select a class for it to work. That's true. But once you select a class, if you search for mana, okay. Here it shows me the areas with the most mana, and we can see the mage area has the most mana. The Guardian isn't far behind either. And then we have this one here, which would be for the Warrior. If we look at health, we see that the Guardian and Warrior have plenty of life. For strength, we see the Warrior focuses solely on it, while the Guardian has a bit. For spells, the Mage excels, and the Guardian has some capability. As I mentioned, the Guardian is the most balanced class. If you're unsure what to pick, just go with the Guardian. The Mage is also a good choice. If you understand mana mechanics from other games, you can play Mage too. If you prefer physical combat, go for Warrior. And if you like ranged combat with a bow, choose Hunter. Next is Ascendancy, where you choose one branch, each with unique attributes. It states we can only have one perk of this type, and not just we can only have one perk of this type. And once chosen, we won't get all upgrades, but only about half of them. Half. Keep that in mind. Let's take a quick look at each of these options. The Battle Mage, for instance, seems the most balanced. Also consider the upgrades we have on the outside. The outer upgrades are more important than the center ones. The center upgrades are mostly the same for all. Got it? So Ascendancy is basically like talents, but on a smaller scale. Then we have the Jewels section, which is this here. These three elements further improve the player's attributes. The Aura, Jewels, and Gems all serve the same purpose, enhancing player attributes. The mod seems to like differentiating things a lot. It's more of the same, really. No need to overcomplicate it. So, now that I've explained the whole interface, I think it's pretty clear. Here we have information on damage, stats, and other details. Honestly, explaining all these numbers might just confuse you more, so I'll skip that. It's good to know we have toughness, critical armor damage, regeneration, and mana here. These are similar to the stats we saw earlier, but explained in this section. What's interesting is this part here, which shows all the professions when we hover over it. The professions are salvaging, geocrafting, infusing, farming, fishing, alchemy, breeding, mining, and cooking. I'll explain each profession later, and finally, we have the rare favor. This is basically going to be a loot multiplier. As I mentioned, all these items, gears, orbs, loot chests, everything can be dropped by mobs. One way or another, maybe not directly, but through a loot chest, you can obtain these items. I'll show you how it works later. So, naturally, the higher our loot multiplier, the better. Right now, I have 1x1, 244 favor points, and we'll start with 250. You earn 1 for each new chest looted and lose 50 when you die, so try to stay alive. Alright, that's done now. We've covered the UI except for jewels, which we'll get to next. Now we'll explain the items to complement what I've just explained. If you skip the explanation, I know it's tedious, but please go back. Okay then. Let's start with the main table, the salvaging table, okay? As I mentioned, 8 iron, a crafting table, and it has its own profession here in the professions section. It's the first one. Got it? How does the profession section work? Well, a profession level can never exceed our own level. So if I'm level 5 here, right? I've killed a few mobs and I'm level 5. In salvaging, even with enough XP for level 100, I'll stay at level 5. Understand? Perfect. Why bother leveling up in these professions? Leveling up lets us obtain or earn better quality items by performing profession-related processes. For example, salvaging. How does salvaging work? Well, in salvaging, you'll basically be getting gears, okay? Whether it's this gear with the soul or any other gear. So this would be the soul itself, a bit of soul, right? And this would be both gear and soul together, okay? It doesn't matter which one you choose. What you need to do is go to the salvaging table, alright? You'll be putting in items dropped by mobs, okay? The items with souls. And when you see, this one, for example, is common, right? We've seen it before, and now it's a common type. So you put it there, common item, above durability, at the bottom, above durability. Then you take it, put it on, and basically, the game trolled me there. I guess it's starter items. Okay, so you put in the item the mobs gave you, right? As you can see, since they're common, I'll get a common stone. Remember I told you it was for getting stones? Well, here's the example, see? So how can we get different stone rarities? Here we have common, uncommon, rare, epic, and even mythic stones. How can we do it? Well, it depends on the rarity of the gear we just threw in, okay? It'll give us different stones. For example, these are mythic, right? So when I put them in the gear, it'll give me mythic stones, okay? Now notice down here that each time I do this, I get experience, alright? That means every time I do this process, I gain experience, got it? So that's how we could level up salvaging, okay? Now that we know how to get these stones, let's learn how to get these ores, alright? As you can see, the ores are more of the same. There are 6 different types, but they're all similar, okay? These ores are obtained by mining, alright? As you can see, it shows that spirit ore is obtained when your mining level is 1 to 20. Celestial 20 to 40, 40 to 60, 60 to 80, 80 to 99, and 100 to 100. What professions are they referring to when they say ores? Well, it's the mining profession, right? Right now in mining, which is second from the bottom, I'm level 6. So I'll only be able to get the ore spirit, okay? Let's go over here. I thought I had a pickaxe, but no, I'll give myself one, alright? I've prepared this area, so we're going to fill it in. And what we're going to do is mine any type of... I'm also going to use haze. As we mine any type of ore, we've got celestial ore, see? Why did we get celestial ore if my mining level is 21 now? I've leveled up, sorry. So basically we just need to keep mining, alright? We have a small chance with any ore, not just diamond, to get these special ores. Now, here's the million-dollar question. Let's say I have a pickaxe, okay? As a pickaxe, I don't want items from my category like level 20 or 40 stuff, but instead I want level 1 or 20 items, got it? If we're high level but want lower tier ore instead of celestial, how do we do that? Well, that's where godly material seals come in, alright? They're crafted using common stones, okay? You know, the stones I just showed you how to get? Basically, you take the spiritual mastery seal, for example, right? I'll switch to creative mode so I don't lose it. You take it and craft it, got it? And what this does is cap drops from level 1 to 20, meaning you can only get common items, okay? So you take it, right click it, and as you can see, it says cap drops to level 1. See how the pickaxe now says drops capped at level 1? Now the pickaxe is capped, alright? Let's go over there and do it. If I start mining, even at a higher level, see? It gives me spiritual ores, got it? So, perfect, that's all for the mining branch, it's just this. See how easy it is? Okay, that covers the mining profession. Here we have the sharpening stones, alright? These improve an item's quality by 12% and can only be used once per object, okay? For example, if I have this item here, okay? Let's see. I have this epic quality item, 40 damage, whatever, and I use a godly sharpening, for instance, okay? Now, I'll show you how to craft it. I grab a godly sharpening, right click, and now I have more damage. Can I use it again? No, because it says we can only use it once, okay? It'll improve the item quality by 12%, got it? I lose 41 damage, but all stats will have improved, okay? Alright, that's good. This works with any item, not just swords, okay? I'm using swords as an example here. So, how do we get these? They're crafted, okay? They're made with allure spirits, which I just showed you how to get. And with minerals, alright? As you can see, they require quite a few. The godly sharpening stone is probably the most useful, okay? It needs a netherite ingot and a diamond, got it? So, it's pretty expensive, but you can settle for the 10% one, which only needs a diamond. Alright, I've just shown you the entire mining and salvaging branch in a nutshell. See how easy it is? This is probably the most essential part of the game, okay? Everything else is important too, but it's more like how to put it, optional ways to do the same thing, you know? I think we're starting to get the hang of it now. So now we have the soul extractors, right? As you can see, they're made with the stones I showed you how to get. Pretty easy, huh? Now that I've explained it all clearly, so what do these stones do? Well, if I take, this is the same as before, okay? These rare items I showed you, it's the same but with boots instead of swords. If you want, we can use the same item for everything to keep it simple. It's silly, but oh well. Okay, let's grab this item. Is it a category? Let's change categories. Come on, let's switch to the rare category. Alright. See, it's a rare type, level 1 or 20. Level 1 or 20, doesn't matter. Okay, it's a rare type. So we right click, and as you can see, well, I meet all requirements to use it. As you can see, this object has its own soul, okay? If I create another object now, okay? Right clicking with gear stat soul in hand. As you can see. Well, I just got 2 diamond ones, okay? Perfect. Two iron ones, okay? It's the same thing, eh? Doesn't matter if it's diamond or iron. Attributes correspond to their rarity. It has nothing to do with the materials of the object. Object materials only change its durability, okay? So, I have 2 iron swords here, okay? And each sword has its attributes. One has more damage, but another has more... well, another has more poison. One has more gear, another fire damage, another ice. One has 1% lifesteal and the other has 40 armor penetration, okay? The armor penetration, right? So, alright. Let's say we want to extract the soul from the better sword. This one here, okay? Why? Why do we want to extract the soul of the best weapon? Well, for example, because it has very low durability. It only has 250 durability, but the soul is really good. The attributes this sword gives are the best I've found, and I need to save this soul. Or maybe because the weapon is about to break, okay? So what you're going to do is craft a gear of its rarity. Its rarity is rare, okay? Therefore, you're going to craft a rare gear soul. How are they crafted? Well, I've already shown you, okay? There are the crafting recipes with a glass bottle and stones matching its rarity, okay? So you craft one, okay? What you'll do is grab it, right-click on the sword. You'll lose the sword. Very important. You'll lose the sword. But this is the soul, okay? Here's the object soul. Don't right-click it or it'll become a random soul, got it? This is the object soul, and you might think, okay, great, but what's it for? Well, as I said, an iron sword's durability is trash, right? But if I take a netherite sword now, okay? And I have a netherite sword here. If I take the gear stat soul I just extracted, and right-click a crafted netherite sword, I'll apply the rarity, giving 40 armor penetration, 20 damage, see? Plus we get a sword with 2031 durability, right? So we just gained about 2000 durability points, well, not quite that many, but somewhere around there. By doing this here, okay? That's what gear is for, giving more life to important souls, got it? I'm explaining this in detail because you won't find a guide that explains it this well yet, okay? It's a new mod, so I get it. People struggle to explain things, I understand, alright? Not criticizing other creators, but I spent 24 hours researching the mod yesterday, and honestly I didn't get it until I tried it myself, you know? So appreciate the length, I know it's long, 34 minutes in. But let's keep going. Now, the jewels section, okay? How do you get jewels? You can get them from loot chests, I think. Now you'll ask, how do you get loot chests? I'll show you that later, alright? But basically it's about killing mobs, fishing and so on. We can also find jewels in chests we're looting and elsewhere. As you can see, jewels give us different attributes. There are only 3 types. The types are green, which is more like lighting. In other words, it's an electricity jewel. Then blue is more about mana and life. And meteorite is for fire resistance and not much else. Obviously, the attributes vary, just like with objects. You'll never find other jewels with the same attributes. And if you have, it's very rare. So how do jewels work and where do we put them? Well, press H, go to jewels, they have their own category. Open it, and here you can equip all the jewels you can. As you see, it'll say you don't have enough jewel slots. You can earn these, typically from the talent tree. You can search for them in the search bar. So basically, what are they telling us? To go to H, go to talents, and here we search. I'm not sure if searching for jewels will show up. Yes, keep looking. If I search jewels without the S, these gray colored things are quite visible. They give us 1 more space for jewel. Normally we'll have 0. I bought 2 in this build, or we'd have no room for jewels. Here's the $1 million question. Is it worth buying or making a path just for the jewel? No way. Instead of stopping here, keep buying till you reach steady. Don't stop at the jewel, no way. Jewels are great, but not enough to base your build solely on this item. So now you know how to get more spaces for jewels. Basically, as I said, they improve our players' stats. Got it? Alright, another part explained. What's up? Alright, now it's time to explain runes and gems. Got it. So how can we obtain runes? We can find them in chests. Mobs won't drop them. We might get runes from loot chests, okay? But I've mostly found them in chests. So what are runes used for? Well, as you can see, there are all these types of runes. If I hover over them, it explains. It says applying a rune to a weapon or tool gives 3 to 10% cooldown reduction. On armor, it gives 1 to 5% effect boost. On jewelry, you gain 2% stats through food buffs. The description says to use it on gear. As you know, gear is any type of item that's capable of having a soul. So, use it on gear with sockets, like pockets, to insert it. If the same rune's already in that item, it'll re-roll, alright? Basically, you take a tool, got it? From a much higher level item, okay? That is, with a much higher capacity, higher rarity to be precise. This one, for example, is, well, I didn't craft it, but it's legendary, okay? As you can see, it shows 3 spaces labeled socket, socket, socket. The socket is basically where you can put the rune. So if I take the rune and right-click, in survival mode, of course, I take the rune, right-click, and I've applied this rune to this item, okay? Since it's jewelry, I've gained 4% more stats from food. Well, from food consumption, okay? Can I apply it more times? No. Got it? As you can see, it's used up, okay? It's cool, but it's consumed. Well, now it gives me 7% more food stuff. Okay, it seems I can improve it, but really, I don't think it's smart to spend so many runes on this. Anyway, to equip a necklace or a ring, okay? You'll be getting these. Just click here and you can equip it, okay? Alright then. Now that we know how runes work, right? I think runes are indeed only useful for items, okay? So good. As you can see, here we have the gems section, okay? The gems, I don't know if searching gem will show everything. No way, okay? What are they called? Divine. Okay, here we'd have all kinds of different gems, right? They work more or less like runes. It says they can also be crafted. The crafting method is basically through... These are the crafting recipes, okay? How to get the cracked sapphire. Well, basically, to get the cracked sapphire, you can get them by killing mobs, okay? Mobs will drop cracked sapphire. As they level up, they'll drop higher level gems too, right? Alright, good. As I said, there are all these types, okay? There are many different kinds. You get them by killing mobs. How do you apply it to an item? Well, to apply them to an item, this will be interesting. If I take a gem and apply it to a socketed item, what's going to happen is... No, okay? It tells us, you can't add more gems than runes. To add a gem, the item must have a rune. Okay? Important point. Once you've added the rune, add the gem. Got it? You can't do it the other way. As I said, gems work like runes, okay? Effects vary for tools, armor, or jewelry. Understand? Alright, now that we've explained the runes, I'll show you how to get more sockets. For instance, this necklace only had 2 slots. How can we get more? Well, with the Orb of Digging. The Orb of Digging gives a 50% chance of adding an extra socket when applied to an item. Now it has the max sockets, as you can see, 4 sockets, which is this item's limit. Some items can have 5, I think I've seen one with 6. This one has 5, for example. Not sure if I can add more. So how do you get this orb? You can get it by fishing from loot chests or mob loot chests, or you can find it in regular chests. Got it? Just a fun fact. Now we also have super gems. This is less related to what we've discussed about runes and gems. But also, since they're common in chests, I need to explain how they work. So basically, what's this going to do? As you can see here, we have poison type, freeze type, and fire type. I think you can guess how each works based on its name. So what are they for? They're for improving attributes. Attributes of what? Of the spells. In the spell hotbar, we unlock a slot for support gems. Here we can add gems to give attacks, say an 18% burn chance. Might seem small, but burning a mob 18% of the time is pretty good. Especially since these support gems are uncommon rarity. If you get a legendary one, who knows what it'll do. So they're pretty overpowered. Where can you get them? You get them by looting chests. By the way, the further you are, the higher the level area and the better the chest loot. Similarly, if you have higher favor, the chest loot will be better. You can get it from chest loot or loot chests, like most things. So that's good. Then we have the socket extractor tool and gear soul cleaner. Okay, what does the socket extractor tool do? It's crafted with 6 gold and a stick. It has 1 use and basically extracts a gem. You might ask, does extract mean I take the gem from the item? For example, will I take this item and get the gem? Well, let's try it. Alright, boom boom, and you get the gem. I was gonna say no, but it actually gave me the gem. I guess in creative mode it doesn't work. Let's see, no, you can't do it in creative. Well, it does work. I didn't think it would. You can do this to remove the rune and all other items too. Items are removed from bottom to top, as we just saw. I don't think this needs much explanation, really. Next we have the gear soul cleaner. The gear soul cleaner is super easy to craft. You need 3 stone bricks. Stone bricks are made with 3 stones like this. Get stone with silk touch or by smelting cobblestone. Cobblestone's easy. Let me explain this quickly. So how do you obtain the gear soul cleaner? He says, click on an object to remove its soul. As I mentioned earlier, we might have a diamond chest plate, but let's use the sword as we've been doing so far. We might have a netherite sword. The stats of the netherite sword are pretty terrible. I need the netherite sword because this way, using the soul extractor I showed you earlier, I can apply stats from another weapon to create the perfect sword. Basically, take the GR soul cleaner, switch to survival, right click it to remove stats but keep the sword. That's what the GR soul cleaner is for. Alright, important things. The Decree of Frost augment, the enhancements. Basically, you can add augments in the spells section. Here we have this whole section. These would be the augments. What are these augments used for? Augments provide stats to the player. As you can see, plus 36 health regen, plus 7% block chance, etc. On the right, we have the augment points. This augment costs 25 aura, leaving me with 35 aura. Or this one costs 40. So what's the issue? We have a total of 100 augments. 100 augment points. What more do we want? Let's go to talents and search for AU. As you search, you'll see areas to buy augment points. That'd be about 20, 30. Here we have 40 augment points. Here again, I think here are 50 augment points. And here are 55 augment points. You might say this is the only way to improve augments. But it's a small boost, so don't buy it. Augments are broken, don't misunderstand me. It's good, but I think it's too costly right now. If you right-click the item in survival, it opens the menu for you. Just keep that in mind. Where do you get the upgrade? In dungeon chests. Same goes for all these orbs. I plan to explain each orb's use, but, well, I can briefly explain. So you get an idea of how they work. This one can increase or decrease item stats by 5%. 50% chance to increase, 50% to decrease. This orb might destroy our item or improve its stats. This orb always improves item quality. It has a 100% success rate. This one randomizes an item's soul. The orb of digging adds sockets, as I showed. Like I demonstrated earlier, the orb of chaos has a 25% chance to destroy, 75% chance to upgrade the item, and well, all the other orbs. How do you get them? You get them from loot chests. How do we get loot chests? By killing mobs or fishing. Higher fishing levels mean better loot chests. The higher the level of mob we're killing, the better the loot chest we'll get. So how exactly do loot chests work? Loot chests can be unlocked, and some will require keys, got it? Keys are crafted using a stick and the stones I showed you how to get earlier, okay? For an uncommon key, you'll need 8 uncommon stones, alright? You might think, wow, a mythical key is pretty expensive, huh? And yeah, they do go overboard with it for sure. But when you open a loot chest, you can get these support gems, which are honestly broken. They're just overpowered. To show you how loot chests work, I'll give myself some and set them to random, okay? I'll set them to level 15 so you can see something typical, alright? I'll put them on random too. And I'm not sure if I can type to you, okay? Alright, I'm going to ask for 9, okay? So there are different types here, got it? As you can see, you can open these directly. Some loot chests open right away. Usually mob drops, while others need keys, okay? So, a loot chest, for example, tells us it contains currency. What does currency mean? Well, it means it has orbs, okay? As I said, loot chests can give you all sorts of things, right? Here we have the orbs. A loot chest containing maps. What are maps for? Don't worry, I'll explain soon. A loot chest with gears, meaning items, okay? Perfect, I'll discard this one, we've seen it. Another with gears of different rarity, sorry, not difficulty, and another containing aura, okay? The aura objects. So, as I said, loot chests have everything, right? It's probably one of the best ways to get items, okay? So, how do you get loot chests? You can get them by fishing, okay? There's one profession, like mining, right? I have fishing, for example, at level 21, okay? Just like mining, as you fish, you'll unlock different level fish. Remember when we mined, we got these orbs of varying difficulties? There are different levels. Well, it's the same with fishing, okay? Now you might ask, can I catch a lower level fish? Good question, I'm not sure. Let's see, yes, okay? You can set it with the mastery seal, okay? Which I showed you earlier. Mastery, okay? You can set it with this. Well, I just messed up by setting it. But anyway, they're crafted like this, okay? I'll show it again. So yes, you can set the level of items you get, okay? Just in case there was any doubt. So, whether you're fishing level 1 or 20, you'll catch these fish. Levels 20, 40, 60, 80, 99, and 100 each have specific fish. Got it? What are these fish used for? Let's get to the good stuff, the overpowered fish. These OP fish are mainly used at the cooking table, okay? We can craft special meals that use lots of uncommon items. These meals give you some great bonuses, alright? For example, 16% more XP, 28% more total damage and so on, and they last for 60 minutes. So that's the whole deal with the food I showed you earlier. How do they work? Well, with stones, pufferfish and tropical fish. I won't go into detail, but there's a cooking branch. Keep that in mind too. So, how do you craft a cooking tool? It's this cooking station, made with 8 bread and a crafting table. That's how you craft it. Place items like this. If you have enough, it asks for 5, 10, let's see, no, 5, 10, and a tropical fish. Let's get the uncommon stones we need. Uncommon stone, okay? Take uncommon stones, place them, add more spiritual fish. Sometimes it doesn't work well. Oh, it needs more. That's why it's not working. Let's add more spiritual fish and see how it crafts. There it is. Hit play and it crafts. Okay, and we get these buffs. Alright, but I don't want this food. Well, you don't need it to play, okay? I just had to show you this because some foods have really great attributes. Eating one of these meals before entering a dungeon could be a smart move. You'll gain much more experience, loot, and so on. So, we've covered the cooking station. And now the master backpack, okay? You'll get this backpack at the end, alright? It's crafted with 8 mythic stones from level 100 mobs. Or very high level ones. And a chest, got it? It has all this space. If you want backpacks, just install a backpack mod. Waiting till max level for this might be interesting since you can sort items and such. But I'm not sure how useful it is, okay? We've explained the whole fishing branch now. When fishing, you can get loot chests, alright? Look, this one needs a common key, see? So let's grab the common key. I got this chest while fishing. Then you take the key and right-click on the chest. Oh no, my mistake. Take the chest, right-click with the key in inventory. And you'll open the chest, okay? There we have it. Perfect. Great, few are left to go now. We've been at it for 55 minutes. How does gear crafting work? Gear crafting has various recipes. If we click show recipes in cooking and gear stations, it'll show us the crafting options, okay? At least with the J mod. Here we'd see all the crafting recipes, right? For the items we can craft. Gear crafting means we can craft gear, got it? As you can see, it's super expensive. It's way too costly. I think crafting this wastes resources. But here's a quick look at all gear crafting options. If anyone wants to farm a soul, like sword souls for example, you'd have a level 100 sword here and so on, got it? So anyway, take a look at this if you want to craft souls and stuff. How do you craft gear crafting? I'll check it out. With 8 gold and a crafting table. Finally, we're left with the most interesting part. I've saved the dungeons for last, but first I want to explain the Alchemy Station. The Alchemy Station, as you can see, has recipes for crafting potions. Potions that last, for example, 30 seconds. This one here lasts 30 seconds and restores 30% of your mana. It restores 20% of your health and so on. It has these crafting recipes we're looking at here. And basically the only thing we don't know how to get, which I'll show you now, is this object here, okay? This item, the Alchemist Station, is crafted like this, okay? With iron nuggets and a crafting table. And these foods here, okay? This type of food called spiritual produce is obtained from crops, okay? So once again, if you're farming, I'm level 4, as you can see, I'll get level 1 items. When breaking crops, you can use a mod to avoid manual harvesting, okay? I recommend it because otherwise it'll be very tedious. So I start farming, and eventually, though they're messing with me now, I'll get a... Let's see if I get it. Well, as you can see, I'm gaining farming experience, okay? So you see it works, right? And well, they just laughed in my face. You'd have a small chance of getting spiritual produce. So there you have it, so you can see, okay? I'll start breaking crops here to see what I get. There it is, I got it, see? These are spiritual produce, got it? So depending on my farming level, I'll get different items, okay? We use these to craft foods I showed you earlier at the alchemy table, alright? Now, we also have the animal breeding skill, you see? It's used for feeding animals and stuff, got it? You might think it's useless, but it's also for getting food. I'll show you how to get food for... Well, I'm not sure how this cake... Oh yeah, look, it's the same with raw meat, see? Raw meat, as you can see, is obtained through animal breeding, okay? To use it, you need the cooking table, alright? This way we can craft various extra meals, got it? These meals are pricey, but last 60 minutes, it's crazy. You can stack effects too. You can have different food effects at once. It's insane, right? I've shown you this. There's no tutorial on food, I know. Some may find it irrelevant, but for dungeons, which we'll explain now, it's quite useful, or at least interesting. Not absolutely necessary, but definitely worth considering. So, how do dungeons work? You craft a map device with a diamond and stone. You put an adventure map in it and need a pearl of home too. The pearl of home. It's made with iron and stones. It lets you return home. So when you enter a dungeon, you can come back. I'll give myself some maps now. I can't use this map's commands as I need lighting resistance. To get lighting resistance, I'd need armor or items with that attribute, or jewels, something like that. So I'll try to get one I can use. Alright, I can use this, okay. So, if you can't use it, don't worry. Just get the stamina and you're set. Save the map, it's useful. Now, we right click, got it. We use the map and enter. Okay. As you saw on the map, there's an indicator. I didn't check, but it shows minimum player level, level 5, okay? Pay attention to that, alright? Here it shows us some reductions, okay? It says mobs will have 27% more physical and lighting damage, got it? Keep these things in mind when entering these zones. We wouldn't want fire resistance when they're strong against lighting, right? But the dungeons, I'm not sure if this is a puzzle or a joke, okay? In dungeons, killing mobs gives XP, but nothing else. Got it. It's a shame, really. They don't give you drops or anything. This guy might give me the enchantment. Yeah, this guy gives me the enchantment. It's normal for some things to be left out, right? So, you'll ask, what's the point of doing dungeons then? Well, it helps us occasionally find a chest. Obviously, this dungeon is level 5, okay? It's a very, very low level. But as you can see, dungeons are huge. All of this is one dungeon. Look, here's a chest with quick charge and all. It's also interesting, here's another chest, for example. When we open it, as you see, it gave me this item here. Which is pretty good. I wish I got items every time I opened a chest. So, just for fun, structures, PvP, I'd like drops though. But I get why they don't give them, you know? I completely understand it, okay? So, to return, we'd simply use Perloff's home now, right? Well, it won't let us because there are mobs nearby. If we wanted to add another map, we could, allowing us to play more dungeons, okay? That's all for now. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. It took me a whole day to understand how this mod works, just so you know. I've tried to explain it as quickly and thoroughly as possible. I didn't explain obvious things like talents. You hover over them to see effects. What do you think this does? Well, it gives you more strength, you know. So subscribe, like, and I'll see you in future videos.